Welcome to your new podcast, Mums Interrupted, with your hosts, Lydia Fay
and Jade Old.
We'll be spilling the cold tea on motherhood and everything in between.
So join us, because let's be honest, motherhood isn't filtered and neither are we.
Hello, Jade. Good morning.
Hi, Lydia.
How are you?
Good morning.
We've got something very exciting for our listeners and us today, haven't we?
We do.
We have our first ever guest. Would you like to introduce her, Jade?
Yes, we do. And we are buzzing for it. We are joined by Charlotte, the founder of Rucci. She's a mum, an entrepreneur, and the brain behind one of the most talked about liquid supplement brands right now.
So, I take Rucci, don't I? It's like my 24-hour clock, but Jade is still yet to try the supplements.
We'll change that.
So we're going to educate Jade today, and hopefully some of our listeners, and you can educate me because I swear by them, but half the time I don't really know what I'm doing.
Oh,
But I really wanted to get you on here, Charlotte, because you are a fountain of knowledge. So I think I know what I'm talking about half the time, but I probably actually don't. But I do swear by your supplements because I'm big in the supplement game, but rarely any stick to my roster. But you're fully in there. You're like my 24-hour supplement lady. Like, you wake me up, you keep me young, you send me to sleep, you keep my hormones balanced. Like, there isn't anything out of your brand that you don't cover in my life internally. And that's why I'm so excited for you to like be here today and talk a little bit about your products and yourself and how you got here to these incredible this is just, everything's incredible. I just friggin' love it. So tell us how it started, please.
so, well, thank you, by the way, because that was lovely. I love that. It actually started, so I'm a mum of two, and I would say I've always been into supplements and vitamins and wellness, but I think during COVID is when I got more into it. And I had my little boy 2021, and my skin after kids was breaking out. I was really hormonal. So I was researching lots of different supplements and vitamins, what I should be taking. And I was taking lots of different things in lots of different forms. So I'd have liquid vitamin D, then I'd be taking zinc tablets, then I'd be taking a multivitamin, and I was just taking so many different products. I was like, gosh, I should just invent one product. And on the market, there was just at the time very generic, like skin, hair, and nails. There wasn't like, this is for dry skin. This will help if you're suffering rosacea or breakouts or whatever it was. So I really enjoyed taking liquid supplements. They were fast, they were easy, they were the most effective way to take them, but they were always like a single ingredient, like a vitamin D spray or vitamin Z drops. So my idea was, let's get all the ingredients we need into one product and put it in a liquid form, and then you can just grab that product, you know exactly what it does, and you take it in one go and you're done for the day. You're not popping pills and making drinks, and it just makes it quicker, especially when you're a mum and your self-care time diminishes to a couple of minutes a day. So my idea was just to create a mini range of skin products that were tailored to different concerns, that contained everything within that one product that you need. That was kind of where the journey started.
Yeah, it's incredible. For people who don't understand the difference between like a tablet form supplement and a liquid form, what's the benefit of the liquid?
So as soon as you take a liquid supplement for like a vitamin or a supplement, whatever you're taking to reach the cells in your body, it has to be in liquid form. So if you're taking it in a tablet form, it's got to go through your body to get into a liquid form through your stomach to then be dispersed to the cells in your body for it to work. So the closer you take a supplement to liquid form, the faster it gets to work. So I think don't quote me exactly on the percentages, but when you take a liquid supplement, you will absorb immediately between 96 to 98%. That's what the absorption rate is on liquids. On your typical chalky tablets, it's 10 to 20% absorption rate. So you're getting nowhere near the same absorption rate because your body straight away will absorb liquids. Tablet will sit there for hours in your stomach. So you're just not going to get the same results.
So you think you're taking your recommended daily amount in a tablet, but actually it's not even getting anywhere close.
No, that's it.
Apart from liquid, though, you've also got what I take. I take a balance blend and a rest and recovery, which is like powder form. So even though that's powder and that's turning into liquid, does that still do what you...
Because you're taking it in liquid form. So it obviously dissolves and disperses in the liquid. Then as soon as you drink it, it's already in liquid form again immediately, so we can get straight to work. So that was the powders are new for me, but what I really like about the powders is you can put so much more ingredients in them. When you're doing the liquid droppers like the skin ones, I think I have about 7 ingredients in them, which is amazing compared to, the single use ones that most people just have one
Mm.
ingredient in. But when it comes to balance blend, I think it's got like 16 ingredients in it because you're mixing water, so you've got a lot more space to get a lot more in there. So the balance blend is amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So if someone was a little bit more clueless, let's say, around the supplement market, like
Yeah,
I am,
yeah.
what would you suggest would be like the number one supplement mums particularly should
Mm,
not be ignoring?
like a product or a single ingredient. If it was a single ingredient,
Either.
I think collagen is really important, especially if you've had a baby, because it's going to help with your skin. It can help with
What
digestion.
does actually collagen do for people that don't even know what it is?
So there's different kinds of collagen. I sell marine collagen because it's more type 1 collagen, which is smaller peptides, so your body absorbs it again faster because the peptides are smaller than bovine, which comes from a cow. But with collagen, it supports everything from your hair, your skin, your nails, connective tissues, bones, muscles. So you can imagine when you've had a baby, your skin, your hair, and just your
Mm.
overall body. Collagen is a protein, and a lot of the time when you've had a baby, you're not eating protein. You're not looking after yourself. You need the extra boost. So I think a good all-round collagen product, it doesn't just do one thing, but I think the main focus it being around skin and muscle and things like that is really good for women after birth. But if I was to choose one of my products, I'd probably say the balance blend because hormones after kids, I mean, I think is it up to 2 years until your hormone levels after a child become level, like they return back.
Mm.
So I think hormone support after children is so, so important because that affects everything, mood, energy, everything.
I think with the collagen, you naturally produce it, don't you? And then it goes down.
Yes.
When I share the collagen, because I bloody love it, does it taste fishy?
Yeah.
And what's so special about this particular collagen? So it'd be really nice to get your answer to that because there is so much collagen on the market. And I remember messaging you because I feel like there's a lot of conflicting information with collagen as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like I messaged you one particular question because your body can only absorb so much collagen in
Yeah.
a certain space of time or whatever. And I saw something come up on the market that was like frigging 10 times the amount that your body could even absorb. And I was like, does this even work? Like what's happening here? Because it's so confusing with the different information.
Yeah. That is a massive pet peeve of mine. So when it comes to products being sold and the percentage of the ingredient inside, when you're taking way more than your body can absorb or it needs, it's just going to be a really expensive wee when you go to the toilet because your body can't do anything with it. You're just going to pee it
Yeah.
all out. So it's just the most pointless thing ever. There's a lot of research and papers around collagen. And the kind of middle mark most people have agreed on through research is 8,000 milligrams of collagen per serving is the optimum amount because that's what they know your body can absorb. So obviously, if you're taking tablets and you look on the back and it's 2,000 milligrams, you're nowhere near. But if you're paying for 20,000 milligram sachets per serving, it's double what you need. So your body will only use half of that anyway. So if you're
Yeah.
paying a really premium amount for a lot of collagen, your body's just not going to be able to absorb it all. So that again is pointless. I would always aim for 8,000 milligrams and always make sure your collagen contains vitamin C because vitamin C is needed for it to work. It like activates it, if you like. So if it is just a collagen product on its own with nothing else in it, again, you're not going to get the full results as if it was
Yeah.
an actual collagen drink.
I feel like I tried your collagen before any other collagen, and I feel like like a spoiled child because when I tried a different collagen, I I realised why everyone was messaging me. Does it taste fishy? Because I tried a couple of other collagens, and oh my god, they were gross.
It's
And
so bad, isn't it?
I was like,
I've only tried one and I haven't been great. I've still got it in the fridge. I haven't been great at taking it, but it's a really strange consistency. I was actually really shocked. I haven't obviously tried yours, but it's like really thick and gloopy, which I
Yeah,
wasn't expecting. I
Yeah,
thought it would be more like the liquid iron, like just quickly shot it,
it is
Yeah,
but
it
thick,
is quite thick.
it is quite bizarre.
Yeah, it is
Mm.
thick. That's why you see a lot of them in sachets because of that thick,
Mm.
kind of having to
Yeah.
have it almost like you've got to push it out like almost like a gummy.
I think they do that because it stinks and it's horrible and they don't want you to smell it. But
Yeah.
yours tastes amazing, and I'm like, oh
Oh,
god, to
I'm
keep.
so glad. But the products I make, because, I'm not this big brand that's like, okay, let's just put that out to market and we'll put a celebrity on it and then everyone will buy it. And it doesn't matter if it tastes gross, we'll get it into stores. I am a normal mum that has bought so many collagens and the taste was absolutely disgusting, but knew I needed to take it. So I was literally taking it and having a drink after, and then it would repeat
Mhm.
on me. And I'd be like, oh my God, it was horrendous.
Yeah, it's
So
awful.
I was like, why can't I just make my own collagen? And we actually flavor ours with elderberry. So it's natural, but that's what the sweet kind of berry tangy taste is
Mm.
to cover up the fish. So it took me so long to be able to produce it where I was hiding that taste because it is gross. And if people don't like the taste of your product, they're not going to keep buying it because they won't want to take it. They have to want to take
No,
it. So that's the
it's
key.
true.
Make it as easy and tasty as possible so people will stick to it in their like morning routines.
You just touched on something as well, because I find it quite interesting because you've got a lovely brand, you've got lovely packaging, and you could kind of take an easy road with your marketing on social media in the sense of like just beautiful pictures and just keep it very kind of soft. But you've kind of stepped in to be the face of the brand, haven't you? And it's
Yeah,
like you're not a startup now, but you are connected to your community in a way
yeah,
that I don't really see many brands do. And it'd be
yeah.
really interesting to find out like why you've chosen to do that.
Yeah, I think when I first started 3 years ago, I'd go on Instagram and all the supplement brands were very aesthetic pictures on a beach of the bottle of collagen with the sun shining on it, and it wasn't I wasn't emotionally connected to any of that. I'm a normal person just like everyone else. And it just made me think, well, what would I want to see? Who would I take advice from? What are the issues that I'm facing that this product could help me with? So I think for me, I needed to connect with my audience and my audience connect with me. And that was just me being honest and saying, I've tried all these products. This is what I've developed. This is why I enjoy it so much. This is what it does. And just kind of making content that way because that felt more natural than this kind of facade of all of these very pretty images. And, I run the business from my spare bedroom at home. And it is just me, and that's the reality. So I didn't want to create this fake image of being this very polished,
Mm.
large business when that isn't what it is. And I think people enjoy that because you can reach out, ask me questions, and we've created more of a community that way.
But your products are polished. That's the thing.
Yes.
That's the difference. And you're saying you're running it from your home. Can we
Yeah.
just talk about you getting into boots?
Yeah.
Like this isn't like a small
Hilarious.
time. Like tell us what happened. How did
I
it come about?
I must be the smallest brand to ever launch into booze. I'm going to put that out there because you don't get smaller than one part-time mum. I have to be the record holder. But it was so funny. Obviously, maybe touch on this later, but I had other brands in the past. I had a makeup brand and I was aware of a few buyers and I was kind of reaching out to people on LinkedIn and I had a really good relationship with a buyer and she said, gosh, one of our buyers has left and they're at Boots and I think they'd love your product. This is her email address. And I was like, right. And I emailed her and just got a really great friendship with her straight away. She loved the products. And she was like, I want to get them into Boots. And literally it took from the first conversation to it launching, I think 2 years. It took a
Wow.
Wow.
long time. Yeah, it took a long time, but it was very surreal. It was very surreal. But I think if your products are good and your products are solving a problem and they're unlike other things that are available, they stand out because we've got loads of
Mhm.
tablets, we've got loads of gummies. They all do the same thing. When you create something unique and that works, I think doors open a lot quicker because it is something that, brands as big as Boots know. Our audience would love that. Our customers would love that. So yeah, that's kind of how that came along. It was
And
very
how many boot stores are you in now?
70 in the UK and then online as well. Boots online is huge. That's where
Wow.
most of their
Do
obviously
you
sales.
find that people that are, not as educated or look into it as much, they're going to trust a product that's in Boots?
I
It's like,
think it definitely,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I think as well, when you're online and you're scrolling and you see all of these adverts and things come up, you don't actually know, like, is that safe? Where's that made? Is
Mhm.
it
Yeah,
legit? And when you're taking
Mm,
something, you want to make sure that it's, I think if it's in boots, you're like, okay, it's fully regulated.
yep.
It's gone through all of the regulation to get into boots. It's safe. It's got all of the correct paperwork, all that kind of stuff. I think
yeah.
it gives people that peace of mind that this product, is a product that will work and that is safe and that I can trust. So it definitely helps with
With
brand.
the regulations, like, that's obviously massive, isn't it? And I feel like I'm so bored of what I see on the shelves because it's usually these massive businesses that
Mm,
have like 500 people working for it and, they can just do that in a day. But it is a shame that it takes smaller businesses, whatever the product is, to get on the high street. And I feel like that's what's letting the high street down generally because
mm.
the average person that doesn't really know what they're looking for hasn't got that accessibility, and it's such a shame.
Yeah, I think now online helps the fact that
Mm,
we have that platform because before then, what were you going to do with your product? It was just stores, wasn't it? So I think online definitely helps, but you're right, it is really difficult because most of the brands, even that are in places like Boots, are owned by maybe a handful of bigger brands because they're all under
yeah,
umbrellas of other brands. So actually,
it's
it's
scary.
really difficult. Yeah, it is. It's really difficult. I think you've just got to kind of pick the route you want to go on, know your audience and create products for them, and then
Yeah.
just hope, everything follows.
I
How c
do think in this world of social media, though, I think it can be easier for brands to break out. And I think the big retailers have seen that because if you've been to Boots the last year, they're almost got smaller pop ups in all of their stores. And
have
they've got a
they?
lot of more challenger brands, especially when it comes to beauty and some of the creams. I've been going in there and getting like random creams really, and then you go and look them up and they've got a big online presence.
That's
So
it.
they're
Wow.
obviously taking note of social media because the world has changed and the
Yeah.
Yeah,
way people shop has changed.
it's
Yeah,
so
buyers
true.
definitely are on social media and seeing what's selling, and you see it a lot with makeup brands, skincare brands. You
Mm.
see a lot of these smaller niche brands because I think they're supporting small businesses more. And I think even
Mhm.
when you look at makeup and you can look at like Space NK and you can look at Sephora and other places have got those smaller brands coming in and they've even got social media sections or trending sections where
Oh, really?
yeah, like smaller brands because they'll just test it and see how it goes. So it's definitely opening up more. You're right. And I think it's because the consumer wants to be able to not just buy a product online, they want to see it in store. They want to try it.
Yeah. I do think new startup brands are aware of what people want, i.e. natural, they wanna know where it comes from, whereas the bigger brands, because they just chuck it out there,
Yeah.
they're mass market, whereas I just don't think newer brands can do that anymore, can they? Because you need to tick all the boxes to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
And affordability, I think, is a big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
We can't all afford bloody Laura Mercier,
No.
however you say it, and I think that's why brands like The Ordinary have done so well because they're affordable. Like we want to be able to buy stuff, we need to be able to afford it, especially in today's day and
Mm.
age.
So
Yeah.
true. I'm just sort of putting my toe in the water with peptides, and I know that collagen is a peptide,
Yes.
but now there's these other peptides that are like ABC2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and da 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 da. And I'm hearing a lot of these beauty health influencers, let's say, talking about peptides.
Yeah.
Like their powder form, they come in a similar sort of consistency as like creatine or electrolytes or whatever. But I'm
Yeah.
still like learning about that. Do you think that's like kind of the future?
I'm seeing a lot of it. I don't feel like I'm that educated on it yet, because it isn't a product I'm actively working on. So when I kind of take an interest, then I dive deep on that project, and I'll kind of learn everything there is about the kind of project I'm working on. So I'm not that educated on it, but it seems to be something that is going to be very popular.
Yeah, looks like there's so many. There's like hundreds, and they can kind of like tailor them. But I was speaking
Yeah.
to my friend.
Guys, you're just throwing buzzwords at me now, right?
Sorry,
Okay.
I have heard so many podcasts talking about these bloody peptides, and then I was speaking to my friend. She was like, "You got to be so careful because you're meant to go to like a consultant, and they can like tailor these specific peptides to you. That they give you
Yeah.
like a blood test, and like they work out exactly what you're like deficient in, and they create you this, like." elixir supplement that no one else has, but now the market
Uh,
is like flooding just
Yeah.
loads of different codes to you and saying, take this, take that. So I don't actually know what that's going to mean, but I feel like everyone's talking about it and it's a bit confusing.
I think that's it. And when something's very new, I think you have to wait for more information to come out and
It's
kind of
true.
see the way it plays out. But I mean, we're told all the time you need to take this, you need to take that. And it's such an overwhelming industry. It's
It
like
is.
skincare. The amount of
uh,
skincare I bought, 'cause I'm like, oh, I think I have to use this, but I don't know what time to use it at. And then can I use that ingredient with this ingredient?
Oh my God. Yeah. Winter, peel time, winter,
Oh,
you
honestly,
know,
this in the morning,
frigging
this in the
retinol, don't go
evening.
in the sun. Make sure you
Yeah,
got this on. And I'm like walking around like a pale person. I'm like, oh, I'm in peel
honestly.
season.
You know what my best advice would be? Keep everything simple from skincare to supplements. Like you don't need to take every supplement if you don't feel you need to. So if you've got an issue with sleep, focus on that. If you've got an issue with your hormones or with your skin, but don't feel the need to be like, oh gosh, well everyone's taking this and that, because you can end up taking too much of things you don't need and then have
Mm,
creating other imbalances. So I would always just say listen to your body and buy the supplements that are going to solve a problem that you have rather than thinking,
mm.
"Let's take this because this is the next big thing," because
Yeah, or you're
you don't
influenced
need
by
it.
it. It's
Yeah,
true.
I am very heavily influenced, and I will go out and buy all of the gear, then have a breakout, wake up all night, and then just give it all up. And
yeah,
I've spent a fortune on stuff that I don't really know what it does, but the
we've all
internet's
done
told
it.
me that it's good for me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
that's
I
it. We've
agree.
all done it. Yeah, I think just listen to your body and, like I say, we know, like, if we've got an issue with our skin, and we know if something doesn't feel right with our energy, and then from there, look for a product that's gonna solve that problem rather than kinda just jumping on the hype of everything, because, like I say, I've done it a lot with skincare and it done so much damage to my skin because I thought I needed everything when
Mm.
actually just strip it back and keep it nice and simple would be my
Yeah, especially when you're older. But then you did send me your balance blend and your rest and recovery, and I didn't think I needed them.
yeah,
And I really do think a test of when you know something has become a staple is when it runs out and you feel like there's a massive gap.
yeah,
So I do think it is good to test things because I didn't really think I had an issue with my hormones, but now I'm taking your product consistently.
yeah,
I do feel more balanced. I feel like it is in the name. So
yeah.
you've got to just, it's a fine line, really, isn't it? You've got to try some things sometimes.
I think as well with the balance blend, it is a drink which is a supportive drink. So we're not so much problem solving. What we're saying is throughout the different phases of your cycle, you can be supported by taking the right nutrients. Because I didn't know till I met with like my formulator and doctor that as women, we naturally become low and deficient in things like iron, magnesium, like different nutrients, calcium throughout our cycle, which then we get the hormonal headaches, we're aggravated, we've not got as much energy. And it's because that's naturally part of our cycle, but I never knew that. So just by taking that drink each day, you're going to feel more in sync and you're going to feel more balanced because you're not going to have those deficiencies. So it is a really great all round drink. You're right. You don't always realize you're having those dips. You think, oh, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
It's just part of,
Mm.
but it doesn't have to be.
I've,
This sounds amazing. I feel like I need this
yeah.
because I've noticed that around ovulation, like everyone like jokes that women are crazy when they're on their periods, right? And I am like, that is me. But around ovulation, I can be a bit doolally at times.
Delulu.
Yeah. And I can.
You,
And then all of a sudden, and he'll say like, oh, is it that time? And then you're like, ah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's ovulation. I feel like actually maybe that's like a
but
silent killer for
you
me.
know, you said before, Jade, that you'll take something, you'll have a breakout and then you'll just cut it off. I'm
Yeah.
like that. But Charlotte's products don't overtake you. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I've added these in and I'm not like, you don't get that reaction. I've never had that kind of like, oh, that wasn't right for me. So whatever you're
Yeah.
doing with the ingredients kind of fits in a way that doesn't feel like doing anything to my body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like overkill because there's a few products that I really want to develop going forward because on the market at the minute I do get really irritated by some of the ingredients that I read because, for example, electrolytes. So an electrolyte should be, this is a bugbear of mine. When you take an electrolyte, it should have things like sodium in it,
Mm.
magnesium, that is what an electrolyte is. But they're full of B12, like 10,000 times what you need. of B12 in them. And that's because B12 gives you energy and B12 is cheap. It's a lot cheaper than magnesium to manufacture. So a lot of
Interesting.
brands are filling them with B12 because, like, oh, it's going to give people the energy, but it's not hydrating you like sodium does and magnesium does in a drink.
Wow. So it's like
Um,
coffee.
yeah, and
I've
it's
actually had a terrible time with I had electrolytes once. I had like a sachet and I was feeling really like run down. So I thought I'm going to take it and I felt horrendous.
You said this to me as well. I'm
Horrendous.
going to go and get
Yeah.
mine. I'm going to check 1 second.
And even one of my friends, because it is such a buzz thing right now, has
yeah,
started taking electrolytes. And she was saying, "Oh, I'm not feeling too good." I said, "I'm telling you, it is that electrolyte.
yeah,
Like, put some salt in your water
yeah.
rather than
Yeah,
taking that." Like,
Swear by these
potassium.
electrolytes.
So in that one there, I think that's a pretty clean one. That should have like potassium, magnesium, and
Yeah.
sodium in it, and then it might have a bit
Yeah,
of
this is
vitamin
what
C.
Peruvian maca root,
Oh, that's
malic
what I've got in the
acid,
balance blend.
I also
magnesium.
tried one whilst in America,
Yeah, there's no
because
need
obviously,
for that.
like, in my corporate world, I was in America, they give them out. Now, you know what ingredients are like in America. I took this electrolyte and I felt like I had a hangover.
No, well,
Wow.
And
What was it
it's
trying to
put me off.
do? But do you think they're
yeah.
like, because they're on so many different frigging concoctions over there, that's kind of just like helping the already bad situation out?
I don't know, I just wouldn't trust anything from America, to be honest. But
No. I
Are
do
you
want to
so
try
I
those
don't want
Lemmy,
to generalize against.
I
but they have them
literally
Lemmy sleeps, don't they? That, what is it, Courtney Kardashian?
melatonin.
But
Yeah.
we can't
So
get that here. Why can't we get any of that?
no. Oh, what tends to happen? I don't know the history behind this, but when something can work really well, it can be put on like prescription. So melatonin in the UK is prescription only. But you know my collagen, it's got
Mm.
ginkgo biloba in it, which is it's like from Chinese medicine, it's a tree, right? So I think it's like the leaf or the root of the tree. And you're not allowed to sell that in Europe, even though it's literally a herb from a tree. In the UK, I can, but when I was looking at Boots Island, I couldn't put it in there
Oh,
because it's
wow.
biloba in it, and I was like, "What?"
What does it do though? What does that actually do?
It's got loads of benefits, but it's like a really healing herb. But in the EU, there's just so many different rules depending on if you're in America, the UK, the EU, and things can just be taken off and can only be through like prescription and things. I don't
Wow.
know all the ins and outs of it, but things like that shock me because I think, wow,
Mm.
it's a natural
I,
product.
I feel like at the moment, I don't know if it's because I've become a mum, so I'm more, looking for other ways to help myself, as in like feel slightly better. But I feel like there is a movement of natural ingredients, for instance, like lion's mane. I've never heard of that, but the last year, 2 years, I
Yeah.
see it in lots of products now. I know one of the collagens have got lion mane in it. And it's really interesting, but also like wild that we're going almost back to ancient
The Bible.
traditions with our medicine. Yeah.
COVID was a massive thing, to make people because people were getting ill and people were scared of getting ill. I think the supplement industry really grew because people were looking at the health a lot more and people had time, to research
Yeah.
things. And I think our age as well, we're probably seeing online a lot more, we get
Yeah.
marketed to as well because they know once you become a parent, you tend to think, right, I've got to get better habits. I need
Mm.
energy to be a good parent. I need
Quick
to look after
fixes.
myself. Yeah. So it's a massive market and it's just growing and growing and growing. But I would just say, just do your research best you can and find
Mm.
your brands that you can trust and kind of do it that way rather than trying to buy everything from everyone because that's when it can
Yeah,
get
it's
very
true.
expensive, very confusing.
So true. Can we just move on and take it back a little bit? Because before this brand, we saw something on your Instagram with Kim Kardashian wearing some makeup that you'd
Yeah.
produced. Like, what was that?
Yeah. So it's funny because Rucci is probably the smallest brand that I've actually ever had.
Wow.
But now I'm a mum, I've come to the realization you can't be everything to everyone all the time.
Mm.
And I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. My 4-year-old just started school in September. And I can't build everything and be a massive, you'd be a mum, So my
Yeah.
kind of thing at the moment is I love Reese because it's a brand I can manage myself. I can still do the drop offs and pickups. But previous to this, I did have a much larger brand, which was a makeup brand called Contour Cosmetics, and I sold that in 2019. But that brand just blew up like overnight. It was incredible. It was 2015 when I launched it when contouring was a huge thing. Do you remember Kim Kardashian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had it.
Yeah.
influence?
Well, at the time, Anastasia Beverly Hills had her palette. She
Mm.
kind of brought this palette out and it was powder. You couldn't get it anywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do a version. I want to do a cream version though, because I feel like cream would be better. It'd blend better. But I'll make it in the UK. And that's what I did. And I launched it and it just took off immediately. It was incredible.
How do you get this spark to just say, right, I'm going to make my own one? Because that's not normal.
I know it's probably not normal. Do you know what? I don't think I'm someone that can be employed. I've tried to be employed. It just didn't work out well for me. I was like, I think I just need to be my own person and just, I've never been scared
I
of
think
failing.
everyone says that though. Everyone says that.
Yeah.
But there's the difference. Like, how do you actually make it happen? Like, what would you say to somebody that has an idea or sees exactly what you saw, a gap in the market? You're like, I want to make my own one. But then there's just like a brick wall in front of you because where do you start? Like, what do you do?
Google. Start.
Yeah,
I
but
think,
instead of starting my own, I Google where I can buy it from someone else, where
yeah.
I can line someone else's pocket.
I
Yeah.
know.
I think the information is out there for anything. You've just got to spend the time and the dedication, and you've got to go through the processes of, you'll go to different manufacturers, you'll get it wrong, you'll create prototypes that are rubbish. It's just learning as you go. I didn't have any business training. My degree's in performing arts. There is nothing here that's helping me with business.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
hard.
kind of pick it up as you go along. So yeah, I got it all made in the UK, and
Wow.
yeah, and
So
then
what did you do before Contour? Was you in the makeup industry or?
She just
The
saw
thing-
a product that she wanted and she couldn't get her hands
You know
on
what?
it,
I
so she
love
decided to
making
make it.
products. Yeah, that's it. I love making products. And I think I just see what I would want. And if it doesn't exist, I think, well, someone else is going to make it.
Yeah.
So why don't I have a try? And that's where the liquid skin supplements came from. The college, the makeup. I had a brush brand where I was doing makeup brushes. Like, I don't know. I think I just love to kind of look for those niches.
I think what I've taken from this is that it just takes a lot of time.
Yes.
And I feel like maybe that's where people want to see results really quick. It's like going to the gym. It's like I've done my weight training before years ago, and I was like looking in the mirror after 4 weeks thinking, where's my ass? And there was no
Yeah.
ass. And this
Yeah.
time I'm back in the gym and I'm like, there's no point even looking in the mirror for 3 months because I'm not going to see any change. I've just got to frigging keep hitting it. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of the same with starting something new, whether
Yeah.
that's a hobby, whether it's a business, whether it's an Instagram. And it's like, you just don't see those results immediately.
No, I still look at my bank account. I'm like, where's the money?
I
It's been
know.
3 years. It takes time. And the thing is, people don't want to be skint. They don't want to, it's uncomfortable. You're working all the time and you're thinking, where's the payoff? Where's the payoff? It's so delayed in business. It does take time. And when you get money, you reinvest it in marketing or you decide to bring out a new product and you pay for the development. So it's definitely, you've got to be good with delayed gratification because it is not an instant thing. So if you're constantly wanting to, if you're somebody who likes to know how much you earn every month and you get it on a certain date, then being self-employed is not for you because
It's hard.
it's a
There's a lot
slog.
of sacrifice, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
I think there's so many mums like at the school gates that have ideas, yeah? Like we've all shared it, like someone should come up with this product. And I know a lot of products like the Rocket, they are all mum-owned businesses.
Yeah.
So I think for our listeners, if they have got an idea and they want to start something, where should they start? What advice would you give them?
Apart from Google.
Yeah, I would say if you work with what you've got. So, for example, my first ever business, I ended up working at a marketing company and I was building websites, helping people with social media, right? I didn't particularly like it, but I thought, do you know what? I know this and I could do it on my own because all I'd need is a computer and a phone and the yellow pages and I'd ring people up. So that was kind of my in because I thought I can do that. So if you're looking to start a business and there's something that you can do easily without having to think, gosh, I'd have to remortgage the house or get investment or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and there's a way in, from there, other things will come. And it might
Yeah.
not be what you want at the beginning. It might be something like for me, I ended up then starting my own little marketing company. And it was another woman that I was looking after that had her own beauty products that inspired me to then do Contour. So
Lovely.
it kind of,
You saw someone doing it.
yeah, I think just start with what you've got and start small and don't put pressure on yourself because at the end of the day, we are mums. We don't have to be these multimillionaire, You
No.
don't have to think, I've got to work every second. I've got to be tired. I've got to stay up till midnight working and then get up with the kids at 6. You don't, you can't be
Mm.
everything all the time.
No.
And I think in my 20s, I was very much like that. But now yeah, I think enjoy it and don't put pressure on it. And that's when
Yeah.
you'll love success as well.
Me and Lydia are still waiting for our millions to roll in from this podcast, aren't we, Lydia?
Oh my
Listen,
God, yeah.
we'll take
It's
long
so
now.
true. We're like, "Come on, Jade, let's start talking about things so somebody wants to advertise."
Yeah.
I'm like, next podcast, Jade, we're talking about holidays. Just talk about wherever you wanna go this summer. Just
Maldives.
start talking about travel.
Yeah, it's so true. But
No,
there's a
but that
couple
is
of
great
podcasts.
advice. We knew that we can talk. I mean, Lydia leaves me voice notes like they're podcasts.
Yeah, I do.
So our natural step was to do a podcast. So
Yeah,
here we
it's
are.
true. And like you say, you've got to work with what you've got. And if you have got an interest in something, but you know nothing about it, it was like me, you kind of sometimes have to get a job. You have to kind of be in it and learn, don't you? Like hands on, get around people that are doing what you want to do. And that can be in any form, can't it? Like you say about helping with social media. I've worked in marketing as well. It's a great hands on experience. And sometimes you really feel like you're going backwards, especially if you've had a business and then you have to go back into work to then find new skills to then
Yeah,
start something else. But it's not, you're just getting more equipped and it just takes time.
100%. I think anytime you can add something new that you've learned. So, like you say, you might be in a job where you think, gosh, this isn't quite what I want, but just look at the people around you. What information have they got that you could use? What could they teach you? What can you take from it? Who can you
Mm.
connect with? There's always, a way that you can come away from a situation where you're way more equipped now for whatever you do next.
So true.
Okay.
So obviously we're all mums. What beauty lies are mums still being sold?
Um, for me, collagen creams, I'm like, how are we putting a cream on our face and saying that's going to boost our collagen? It's a protein in your body, which you can encourage through,
Mm.
through food that you eat, through taking a collagen supplement. And I'm just not convinced on the pro collagen creams for me. I think collagen can be encouraged through taking supplementation and diet and through things like microneedling and things like we causing
Yeah.
like abrasions to your face. But I'm not convinced with the skincare collagen products. I've got to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would say that for me is a bit of a bugbear. I would say that and the electrolytes that are full of B vitamins, because the thing is with B vitamins, it's a B complex. So you have like B7, B5, B12. The B complex contains all those different vitamins. So when you see a product that has 10,000% of your daily amount of B12, it's just knocking all your levels off and causing so many issues, especially with like flare ups of acne.
Wow.
So that really irritates me because I think, why are you selling people like such an obscene amount of one single ingredient that's part of a
Yeah.
complex on
Yeah.
its
So
own?
are you going to bring out an electrolyte? Is this what's going to happen? Yeah, there we go.
With a bit of a twist, of course. It's got to be something different.
Oh, how
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes. So I think that will probably be my only product launch this year. I think I'm just going to do that one because I want to focus on having like a core range of good products rather than like, let's follow this trend and get another one out and another one
Mate,
out.
I'm
Mm.
behind you. Whatever you want to do, bring them all out.
Hey!
Just do it. Don't worry
Yeah.
about the amount. They're bloody all good.
Good. I'm so glad.
No, it's been lovely having you on and thank you so much for all the information. And I hope you've inspired some mums. Never
Oh,
know.
good. I hope so.
I've got one final question.
Go on.
Okay.
This is, what's harder, pregnancy, newborn life, or starting a business?
For me personally, I liked being pregnant. I quite enjoyed it.
Sicko.
I know, because I just ate loads of food and just like made the most of it. I was just really lazy. I was like, I'm just going to relax and enjoy myself before I have a baby to look after. And I would say the only difference between having a newborn and having a business, for me personally, from my experience, is when you have a newborn, you can kind of say to a friend, a partner, a family member, oh, could you have the baby for a couple of hours while I have a shower or while I do this or while I do that? But when you have a business, there's no one's going to come
The
and
support
start
isn't there.
doing your emails and going to your meetings. And
It's on
so
you.
it's just on you. And especially people who've got small businesses, like you're a nail tech or, that is literally just you. You're the only person that can do that. So for me, I would say the business. That's why I would never want to put pressure on mums or women in general to see you've got to be these boss bitches. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say. But
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah, you
need to
can.
think, oh, I've got to be this boss and also do everything at home. You don't. And that's why I would say, business is hard. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Do what you can do. Being a mum is just such an important job, and
Mm.
So true.
especially with young kids. We don't get that time back.
No,
So,
it's so
I
true.
think people are trying to sell this life at the moment that they have and they are doing it all. I think you remember we spoke before about Molly May and there was a bit of backlash about her having a nanny. But
yeah.
it's like, of course she's going to have a nanny. She can't look after a child 24/7 and grow a business and be an influencer and fly everywhere.
Yeah.
But we can't do everything. We can't spread ourselves that thin.
No, and it was a shame that society kind of made her feel that she had to hide that nanny. Because if
I
it was
know.
so open and normalised, she probably wouldn't have done it because it would just been okay. And it is okay. And if you've got, if you've achieved what you've achieved and you can afford a nanny, you should be bloody proud of it. I'd have them
know.
like behind me now if I could.
But if
Do
it
you know
was
what
a
I
I
mean?
just keep seeing my cleaner walking past. Yeah. And be
Yeah.
like, oh, excuse the cleaner.
You know what I mean? Come on. You're not going to struggle just to struggle.
No.
Yeah.
And no one would have asked a man that question. Who's looking after your
No.
child while you're in your corporate
Stay at
job or you're
home. What
doing
is
this?
what was I
Yeah.
saying? Oh yeah, what's the equivalent of a man child? I don't know what the
No,
equivalent is.
it was, we had a conversation about, there's like, everyone talks about working mums,
Yeah.
like it's a term, but there's not a term working dad. That's not to say that dads don't put in the effort, because like my partner definitely does, but it's like as a society, that is a term that we are all use all the time, a working mum, but on the shoe on the other foot, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's because that traditional role was mum's at home. So if mum's working, then she's a working mum. But it's weird.
Mm.
Yeah, you never hear working dad. It's because of that old school role of like the mum should be at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, I mean, if I'm being honest, would I love to be at home all the time with my kids? Yeah, I would actually. I love having a business, but if I could just literally just parent all the time and that be my full-time job all the time, I'd love that. But I think for me, it works having my own business because I can do it around the children.
Mm.
Yeah.
And,
And your
that I've
kids
got
do
any
always grow
support.
up and you do need something of your own, because if you have
Yeah.
that gap for too long, you can lose yourself in motherhood. So it doesn't
Yes.
necessarily have to be a job, even if it was a hobby or, you go to the gym or you do something like a class or something. It's like losing yourself is a really scary place to be. It sometimes happens, obviously, when you're in the trenches, but
Yeah. Because
you
all you
don't want
talk
And I
about is
think there's that saying, idle hands. Yes, like some people, I like to just have things to do, be busy. I'm always like inserting myself somewhere. I went on mat leave, and then the first week I become the chairman of the preschool.
I know, that was
Like,
hilarious.
know?
And I sent you that reel yesterday, didn't I? Say, check in on your ADHD friend today because she's created problems that wasn't there this morning. And I was like, it's so true. And they're like shoving stuff out the garage. She's like, oh, do you do that? I'm like, no, I'm clearing the garage. I'm like,
oh my God.
But I think some people are just like that. You can't help but you
Do
create
something.
like these businesses. Like we've all created online platforms. Like I could have just been, taking naps, but instead I
Making bread.
decided that I needed to like make baby led weaning
I
reels.
know, it's so true. It is true because I say, "Oh, I would love not to work," but actually, that's not true. I think it's a good balance what I've got now, and like you say, you've got to have something for yourself and something you're proud of, and something that you can show your kids as well. Like when I started here in my spare bedroom, my kids were helping me pack my orders and helping me put them in bubble wrap, and it was such a fun time.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it was so cute, and they'd help me get all the bags into the car and then we'd take them down to the fulfillment center. And I think it's nice for them as well to see, mum works and I explain to them, this is what pays for this and pays for that. And that's how this works.
You've got a very calm disposition about you, And I think maybe that helps because a lot of people might get stressed with the juggle. But
Yeah.
you come across quite calm, probably because you're on all your own bloody supplements, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really zen.
You're literally, you are the face of the brand, the calm brand. Okay, ladies, it's been lovely chatting. Thank you so much for joining us, Charlotte. And thank you
I've loved
for
it.
all the info. And if you are looking for supplements, please check out Rucci on Instagram and their website because they're full of amazing, amazing products.
And would love to hear more about the electrolytes once it's
Yeah.
readily available. See
Yeah.
if it works. I don't mind testing it to see if it
Getting
sends me a
exciting.
bit
Perfect.
Ellie.
I will get them out to you both. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
In.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.